Hey everybody, you're probably wondering why I'm talking about a movie that came out in 2009. Well, I'm actually starting a new series where I do a riff review, which is a summary of a movie with jokes spliced in between it, and I don't want to go out and just spoil an entire movie for somebody without telling them what the movie is about first. So doing a regular review where I tell you what the movie is and then give you the chance to decide whether or not you want to watch it first felt like the best idea to me, so that's what this is. Today we're going to be talking about The Collector. Came out in 2009. Let's get into it. The Collector is a movie written and directed by Marcus Dunstan, whom is also known for writing on some of the Saw movies, which is crazy because this movie was actually initially pitched to be a prequel to the Saw movies themselves, and it does wear its influences proudly, but the idea was ultimately rejected. And although the film didn't blow anybody away, and it never even doubled its budget at the box office, it did grow a fandom, and it does have a rather large following of people who did want it to succeed and did want it to have sequels and keep going as a franchise. So let's go ahead and get into the
plot.
I'm going to try to keep things simple here. We follow a thief named Arkin, played by Josh Stewart, and he breaks into a home of a rich family just to find out that someone broke into there first. It has all the bells and whistles of your typical slasher, home invasion, torture porn films, but lacking a lot of polish. Which brings me into
editing.
Now normally I wouldn't want to talk about the editing before the characters, but the editing in this movie was pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. It cut terribly. There was so much cutting in this movie that half the time I didn't know what was going on. There would be somebody getting stabbed or something, and it would cut to the stupidest crap so often that I could not take in the fact that somebody was getting stabbed. It would cut so much that it was dizzying at times, and I know how bad that is because I've made videos where it is cut so bad that it is dizzying. I've done that myself, so I know how easy it is to do, and I know how hard editing is, so I can appreciate the fact that it's not a simple thing to get right, but at the same time, whenever you do it wrong, it is a glaring issue, and I need to point it out. And a rather glaring issue that arises from this happens to be continuity errors, and it's nothing huge, nothing that you can't look over, but it does hit you in the face, and it is noticeable. It happens often when it comes to attire. 1 minute they have shoes, the next they have boots. 1 minute they don't have a shirt on, the next they do. It's stuff like that, and it's not something that's going to ruin the entire movie for you. But if you're paying attention, it is going to be very obvious, and it might make you laugh, or it might really, really bother you. So I just need to put that out there in case it does. And when it comes to being bothered by things, now we need to talk about the
Characters.
Alright, so the reason I put the characters after the editing is because honestly there's not that much to talk about. The characters aren't god-awful by any means, but they don't really have much of a personality either. They're just placeholders in order to draw the action forward, to make the horror more horrifying by putting characters in there that can get tortured, that can get hurt, that can get put in dangerous situations over and over and over again. They don't really have much merit on their own. But that's not a dig at the actors though, because the characters were passable. I think Josh Stewart was a good anti-hero. I think Andrea Roth did really good as a damsel in distress. I think Michael Burke did really well as a father who puts his family first, especially in the scenes where he literally puts them above even his own well-being. Heck, I even have to give extra praise to Carly Scott Collins for being so young and yet giving such a good performance as the Chase family's youngest daughter. But how I describe those characters is practically all there is to them. And that is the problem. That being said, although it was a rough ride, I did find it enjoyable, and I do like the idea of the Collector as a villain. If the plot didn't have a lot of glaring holes, and the editing some rather sloppy continuity errors, then it'd be easier to recommend it. If you know what you're going in for, and that's okay with you, then you'll enjoy it. But if the issues I talk about there bother you, then you won't be missing out much by passing on this one, but I still do really like this movie. I know it sounds really stupid to say, but although this movie is not necessarily a good movie, it is rather average, I still really like it. So in the end, does The Collector suck, or are you in luck? Drum roll, please. You're in luck, because I don't think it sucks. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and like always, have a good day. Thank you.